And right now we have a second lightning talk. I would like to invite to the stage Norbert Vadas from Gevulot. And we're going to hear a presentation on state of ZK proving infrastructure landscape.
Hi everyone, I'm Norbert from Gevulot and I'm doing protocol research. Recently we've been looking into the proving infrastructure landscape and we're releasing a blog post most probably in the next couple of days. And I want to give you a high-level overview of kind of what we've found. Hope you'll find it interesting. So, as more and more projects are implementing verifiability, oh yeah, just a quick disclaimer. When I say ZKPs or ZK proofs, I mean mostly validated proofs and less ZK proofs. But for simplicity, I may just say ZKPs. So as more and more projects are implementing verifiability, and it seems there may be demand growing for ZKPs, we found that there are a bunch of different teams building different types of prover infrastructure. And we felt that it's important to have a bit of an overview on, a bit deeper view on the landscape itself, because most of the time, all these solutions can be grouped around one core service, which is proof generation. However, there are huge differences in their architectural design, in their offering, their scope, etc., even though they are all just thrown into the same bucket like another prover network or proof market. So we've analyzed about 20 projects out there. A quick disclaimer, we've been using publicly available information and the landscape is evolving day by day. So if you feel we missed something, some project or some interesting development, please get in touch with me. And what we will do today is to map the proving landscape, see how the infrastructure evolved, and see, or kind of try to see where it is headed. So last year, I remember back in summer of 2023, there was a bunch of talk about sequencer-prover separation. I remember Togrul and a bunch of other people have been debating about this, whether to enshrine or not to enshrine prover networks. And along with this, and what I meant by enshrining or not enshrining, it was the prover decentralization of L2s built on top of Ethereum. What way should they find to decentralize their proving? There are two main solutions, outsourcing it or building an in-protocol prover network. The former one allows obviously much quicker go-to-market. It releases a lot of complexity. On the other hand, it may introduce some external dependency, and it may also, because of that or through that, introduce some increased liveness risks or censorship risks, depending on the decentralization of that third-party proving service. While in protocol prover networks, there is no external dependency. However, the hardware utilization is much less efficient because of the idle time the prover nodes need to, or the prover nodes have while waiting for a new proving job to be assigned to them. And also, it creates kind of a fragmentation in the compute resources as well. And it increases complexity for node operators too, because they need to maintain distinct nodes on distinct networks. So in 2024, now we see that the industry is more leaning towards, or mostly leaning towards, outsourced proof generation. However, we also see a new type of fragmentation appearing. We have a bunch of these proving solutions, and it makes the landscape, or it makes sourcing ZKPs more complex because it's getting increasingly complex to find the optimal solution among all these options that the people may have. So we took a deep dive, and at first glance, it's already revealed that there could be two big groups among these prover networks or proof markets out there. Some of them are demand-facing, and most of them are demand-facing, and a smaller portion are supply-facing, but we'll talk about that in a sec. So a whole lot of, actually the majority of the prover networks or proof markets out there currently are actually launched by teams that have some kind of in-house product, some kind of ZK-related core product, be it a ZK VM, be it a coprocessor, etc. And these are kind of drivers of demand in their case. And the prover network or the proof marketplace they are doing is actually serving as a channel for that demand. Some examples could be, and it's not all of them you see on the right side, much more logos. So RISC-0, Bonsai initially supports RISC-0 ZK VM. Obviously, the same applies to Nexus and their ZK VM. Lagrange Network initially supports their ZK coprocessor and proofs related to their state committees. Lita has the Valida ZK VM, and they are building a proving service to related to their ZK VM. Or for example, Succinct Network is supporting mainly and generating proofs mainly for SP1 and telepathy. And also, you see that you've got Sindri, Snarkify, and some other protocols here who, like, among the logos, who don't actually have an in-house product per se, but since they are centrally integrating certain proving schemes or certain DSLs they offer proof generation for, the users of those proving schemes will be actually, those will be driving demand, and they also fall kind of into the same bucket. But all these different solutions you see here, channels of proof demand, the different prover networks or marketplaces, so they have one thing in common though. They focus on demand and they need to source compute from somewhere. And they have different options to do that. In-house hardware instances could be one, rental in data centers could be another, but mostly, most of the teams are actually using traditional cloud compute like AWS or GCP. But in the past months, we've seen a new alternative emerging, and we call these aggregators of proof demand. They are more supply-facing protocols. And by definition, or by our definition, they are capable of servicing any other prover network and proof market out there with the computation they need to service their users. However, there is an architectural criteria, though. In order to be a universal aggregator of demand, and in order to be able to service any other prover network or proof market, they need to allow the deployment of any arbitrary prover program or proof system, or let's put it prover binary, like self-service deployment of that binary to their users, so that it's really universal, it's capable of doing universal aggregation. And currently it's basically Gevulot who is offering that type of flexibility. It has a proof system agnostic architecture. You can self-deploy any prover binary, and it's capable, as I mentioned, it's capable of servicing any other prover network or proof market, and also projects in need of ZKPs, obviously, directly as well. So a quick overview. We've talked about this mostly from two angles. The demand side, you've got the channels of demand who are sourcing ZKPs through those options, and then there are these supply-facing solutions, among which them are decentralized aggregators of proof demand who can generate proofs for other prover networks or protocols directly. But we've also found that there are quite significant differences in the way these different prover markets, or let's put it, proving solutions, support provers or like integrate provers. As mentioned in the beginning, most of the channels of proof demand, they are actually supporting one single proof system related to their own ZKVM, coprocessor, their own products basically. But there are quite a few others, like Sindri, Zero Computing, Lumos as well, who have integrated a couple of DSLs and support a couple of proof systems. And there is Gevulot, who allows self-service deployment of any prover. So through that, it's able to service and to serve proofs to any prover. However, it's worth noting that SciSig, Irreducible, Novanet, Succinct also, they have mentioned in their docs or so they've provided the information that they are looking to support multiple provers as well. On the other hand, another key difference is in the integration method, because most of the teams are actually centrally integrating certain selected proof systems or prover programs in their networks, and they support those. However, it's a very different complexity if you want to build a platform that allows any user to kind of bring their own prover binary, deploy it easily, and then just send requests through JSON RPC and get your proofs back. And yeah, as mentioned, Gevulot is doing this currently, and Marlin's Calypso is also being built in this direction. That's an important fact to mention as well. Another important thing, I think, is that, and a little bit different than what we've talked about until now, is cooperation versus kind of competition. So competition is really nice, and it should, in theory, help to drive down cost of proving. On the other hand, it also creates a lot of fragmentation and quite bad user experience, because it adds complexity, or it puts the responsibility to the users to find the optimal solution for themselves. While from our perspective at Gevulot, we see that the cooperative aspect of the landscape should be strengthened, because that could focus on, so that could bring in many more synergies. And actually that was one of the reasons why we started investigating the landscape, also to see what the different projects are focusing on. And as I mentioned already, it turns out that different projects are focusing on different elements of the proof supply chain more than other parts of it. And that way, to put it in a different way, they are actually, turns out, many of them are complementary to each other. And obviously there are a bunch of other ways that are still to be mined in terms of cooperation. But it's great to see that even though the industry thinks they are all in the same bucket, there are actually quite a few differences, and that allows a whole lot of cooperation through their complementary nature. And why it is important? It's because this is through cooperation, we could build more robust proving infra, we could improve the user experience, and that benefits the entire ZK industry. And one more thing I'd like to mention, because this also focuses and has the capacity to decrease fragmentation a lot and should be very useful for the industry, is ZK Boost. It's kind of like a generic abstraction layer to remove the complexity of proof outsourcing. And the reason why it's important is because I think that it's basically well known that most of the L2s out there are currently doing proving in a centralized fashion, and they are trying to figure out ways to decentralize it. If there is a solution that abstracts away finding the optimal outsourced proof generation method for them, that could actually speed up their prover decentralization goals as well. So ZK Boost is basically a proxy node that proving services, prover networks, proof markets can easily connect to. And it has a single standardized API to which, from the other side, all L2s, coprocessors, or ZK applications could connect and easily find the optimal proving option for themselves. The goal would be to build it as a neutral open source software through industry collaboration. And the goal is to have it governed by a consortium of stakeholders. Gevulot has kicked off the initiative, but we are let us know if you'd like to participate. We have buy-in from the biggest names in the industry, luckily. 20, 30 names are there already. If you'd like to participate, please let us know. And just a very last thing about generating proofs on Gevulot. So our V1 network has been up since March. We generated about 2 million proofs. You register a key and you have access to the entire proving pipeline. You can already today deploy your own prover binary and start generating proofs and have them verified, all free of charge. The node operators in our permission network are taking care of the costs. And soon we are launching Gevulot Firestarter, which is a permissioned version of the ultimate ZK cloud. We are building a decentralized permissionless ZK cloud. Starting in September, we are onboarding node operators already. It's a scalable, production-grade, production-ready network. Again, supports any prover, and free trial is available for this one as well. If you'd like to learn more, visit our website, and our blog is going to be posted to blog.gevulot.com in a day or two, I guess. Yep, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Norbert. Do we have some questions? Okay, so I would like to invite you to the lunch break. Norbert will be with us, right? So there would be also an opportunity to network. Thank you.